Today we're going to break down how Argentina dismantled England's defensive plan. I'll show you how Argentina's rotations constantly manipulated England's 4-4-2 block, how Messi created impossible decisions for England's defenders, why Tuchel's 5-3-2 solution actually played into Argentina's strengths, and why the final 5-4-1 shape was not necessarily the problem. It was the players inside it. So was this another Messi masterclass where nobody could stop him, or was Tuchel actually outcoached? Or did Argentina simply expose weaknesses that England had been hiding throughout the tournament? Let's get into it. So the first thing I understand about Argentina is that the rotations they have in the midfield. I've highlighted their three midfielders: McAllister, Enzo, and Messi. Now Messi, he plays more up front, but he drifts all over the place, so I consider him more of a midfielder. So as you can see, Enzo, Messi, McAllister, they take up different positions as they're circulating the ball. Even Alvarez is dropping in the middle, and then all of a sudden Messi and Enzo are on the last line. McAllister is on the last line. This makes it so difficult for any team to defend them because they have to hand off consistently where these players are. Same thing when you play against like PSG. The rotations in the middle of the field are extremely difficult for a team to take care of, especially when you're playing against Messi, who's probably the best player in the world in tight spaces at breaking low blocks. Again, as you can see, as the ball is circulating, you see Messi getting higher, McAllister is dropping in, Alvarez dropping in. Then as the ball circulates again, Enzo's getting up higher, Messi's on the last line, and Alvarez is coming for the ball. And this happens within 10 to 15 seconds, so you can imagine how difficult it is to defend. Let's go ahead and look at the clips. I can't show you videos, obviously, because it gets taken down. But look at this. 40 minutes, 15 seconds, look at the position of the three midfielders. 40 minutes, 34 seconds, 15 seconds later, look at the positions of Messi, Enzo, and McAllister. And now Alvarez, you can see, is dropped in here. And then 15 seconds later, less than 15 seconds later, Messi is now dropping in for the ball. McAllister and Enzo are higher up, and then Alvarez is back up front. So you can imagine how difficult this is to defend. Look at Declan Rice. He's pointing. Everyone's got to identify where Messi is, and at the same time, Enzo, McAllister, Alvarez, these players can hurt you as well. So that's why in the build phase of Argentina, they are so difficult to defend. And teams that defend in a low block or a mid block, it is extremely difficult. And to do that, it takes a lot of mental focus, which is draining. Physically, it takes a lot of, obviously, physical focus as well. But that is why Argentina are so difficult to defend. So especially when they have controlled possession of the ball in the final third with Messi drifting around, it is so difficult. People are asking the question now, did England stay passive the whole game? That is 100% false. If you watch the game back, look, it's 1-0 up. They actually win the ball back in the final third. And Morgan Rogers, now he had an amazing assist for the goal. He completely squandered 2 or 3 huge chances for England that could have put them up 2-0 or even 3-0. This picture right here does not result in a goal, but this pass should go right into this space here into Kane, and Kane's got a shot on the goal, and Harry Kane's lethal in front of the goal. Rogers plays this pass behind them, and again, this is from a high pressing situation. And what happens from this moment? It's a poor pass, and then all of a sudden, Argentina are in transition, and they have incredible pace with Simeone in behind. Messi is a fantastic player in tight spaces. He's able to play a pass to Enzo, a little layoff to Enzo, who plays an amazing pass into Simeone, and then Spence is on the run, and he makes a game-saving challenge in the 57th minute of the game. Again, people are saying that this is a warning sign. Yes, this was a warning sign for Tuchel that maybe we have to stop high pressing. So 2 things come across my mind when I watch this. I think Tuchel is thinking, sheesh, we got to stop high pressing because we almost conceded. And 2, the reason why we have to stop high pressing is we don't have the quality in the outside backs. With Spence, he barely gets to this ball, and that's where we can be critical of Tuchel, is the selection of the outside backs. You cannot high press if you don't have quality and pace on the outside. Honestly, I'm surprised that Reece James didn't play left back. given that Messi and Simeone were both on the right side of the pitch. Spence had a lot to do yesterday. It was extremely difficult for him. And so that's why I feel the reason why they moved away from high pressing was 57th minute, his first warning sign for Tuchel. We just almost conceded off a high press. So that is so important, guys. Like when you're a coach or a manager, you see that it is extremely, extremely dire circumstances. It's the knockout game. Obviously, maybe it's a little bit of overthinking, but to see this go down, can you really tell yourself to, hey, we're going to continue to high press? Because they almost concede off of this. People will say it's 60 minutes. It's too early to go into a deeper block. And, you know, I could agree with you. But then 61st minute, they're in the high press again. Gordon is pressing higher. Rogers is pressing higher. Kane is higher up. But here is the problem. And I don't know if, again, this is from the mentality of the England players. Is it the fitness of the England players? But again, think about Tuchel on the sideline. He is seeing this 61st minute. Players are pressing higher up the pitch. Look at your front four. That's your front four in your 4-4-2 or your 4-2-4 press. Rogers, Gordon, Kane, Bellingham. Look how disconnected they are. And Argentina easily play through the higher press. So again, if you're Tuchel and you're seeing this, you see the 57th minute, almost concede a goal. 61st minute, try to high press. Look how disjointed your front line is. Argentina are easily bypassing, progressing the ball. You have to start asking questions of, hey, is this the right defensive idea for us to be in? Look how disjointed that front four is. My only criticism here of Tuchel could be, could he switch Kane and Bellingham, right? Does he want to switch Kane and Bellingham? But those are huge decisions that he has to make, because they're obviously just fatigued. 62nd minute, they are in the low block, 4-4-2, which again, probably one of the best shapes to be in a low block. It gives you transition ability with Gordon and Rogers. Kane and Bellingham are protecting central areas. Still in 4-4-2 in the 64th minute. And then we get into the first issue that Argentina starts to pose. So they're down 1-0. And then now Messi, he starts to drift out to the right side. You have to understand, for 65 minutes, Argentina has tried to play through the middle. Messi has tried to stay central. If you've watched Argentina play the last couple of games, Messi starts to drift out to the right side with Molina and Simeone and causes this problem for England right here. So we can see it again. Here is your front four, 66th minute. Here's Messi at the bottom of your screen and Gordon on the right side. And people are asking, why did Tuchel take Gordon off? And this is exactly why. 66th minute, look where Messi is. Look at where they are in the field. They are not even at half field. This pass goes right into Messi here. And again, front four is extremely disjointed, guys. Messi gets the ball from here. Gordon's isolated here. Messi takes him easily to the inside. Creates a chance almost out of nothing. This ball goes into, I think this is Nico Gonzalez. And I think he almost scores, or he almost gets a shot off. And again, let's go back. He picked up the ball here, guys, at the 66th minute in 10 seconds. Guys, he's here creating a chance. So again, I've showed you 3 decisive moments in this game. Tuchel is on the sideline watching this. If I'm a coach, if I'm a manager, I am in big trouble. I'm sweating on the sideline. How can I continue in the way that I'm seeing right now? Right? I've seen the Spence challenge where he barely gets the challenge in the block Simeone. I've seen my line just completely disjointed and my players are not pushing up higher and committing to the high press. And then I've seen Messi pick up the ball before the halfway line and creating a chance in 10 seconds at the other side in the final third. So this is when the hydration break comes in, and this is when Tuchel decides we have to go 5-3-2, as you can see on the board. 5-3-2. But here's the biggest problem. Argentina also make changes. They go into a 1-3-6. Now this is a shape that I've only personally seen Guardiola use a couple times, and I'm sure other teams have used it, but they go into a 1-3-6 with Romero as the sweeper, Otamendi and Enzo and DePaul kind of playing in this triple pivot, as you will. Messi and McAllister in the half spaces, Montiel and Nico pinning, Tagliafico, the left back, Alvarez higher up. And this is the issue that starts to happen because they move into this 5-3-2 with Messi and McAllister pinning the half spaces, it essentially allows DePaul to hit crosses in for free. Because Messi and Rice are occupying these spaces here, this allows DePaul to be free. This allows Otamendi to be free. Here's the crazy thing about this whole shape. The crosses were never going to come from Otamendi. They were always going to come from DePaul. So a lot of times Argentina, they are building their attacks here and then switching the ball over to DePaul because he is the one delivering the final cross. Kane and Bellingham have to cover this space, and that's a massive space for two players to cover, especially at this point in the game. How Tuchel's 5-3-2 is supposed to work, how it worked against Mexico, is that Rodgers and Rice need to help cover the wide spaces. So these wide center mids have to get out and try to make sure to prevent these crosses with the help of Bellingham and Kane. In Mexico, against Mexico was fantastic, but they did not use this shape. They don't have the quality of players that Argentina has. And this is where I would say is Tuchel's first mistake. You know, in the press conference, he said his mistake was not structural. This was a structural mistake that he corrected later on. First thing we just talked about, Argentina, they overload the middle of the field. England's 5-3-2. They're all occupied. Those three midfielders are stuck in the middle. It frees up the wide spaces as you see. It's 2 versus 1 on the outsides. Here's their 5-3-2. Look at Messi here. Look at McAllister here. Them occupying these spaces is giving Rice a huge problem. It's giving Rodgers a huge problem. Do I go out here or not? Bellingham, Kane are here. Do I go out here or not? They don't know. It's completely obvious to Argentina's players that this is the way they're going to put crosses in the box. You can see Otamendi screaming for Enzo to switch the play. Enzo already knows where the ball is going to go. Argentina have so many players in the middle. They have 4 players central. Up to this point, they've been playing through the middle. So that's why the England players are so concerned about getting broken through the middle. They have to stay compact, and Messi's in the center. The gravity that Messi attracts is incredible. And then Argentina, they play centrally almost the whole game to set you up to start playing balls out wide. That is the whole game of Argentina. They try to suck you in, play through the middle the whole game, pull you in the middle, and then when they need a goal, then they're going to start exposing the wide areas that you're leaving behind, that you're so scared to leave behind. Argentina in the 1-3-6, 2 versus 1 on the sidelines. DePaul's getting the ball for free. What they do so well is these deep crosses in the box. And then they have deep runners as well. They overload the back post. Almost all their goals from crosses have come like this. What they do is they occupy all the England center backs, and then McAllister is usually the one who makes a late run in between, so he comes in unmarked. It's just more on Argentina, 1-3-6 with the 2 wide pinners. I got the 3 players here. Romero's the sweeper. He's just there to help protect any transition moments or foul. The crazy thing is England have absolutely nothing in transition. Kane and Bellingham are not pacey players. Argentina are in a lot of comfort. Another problem is Declan Rice. You know, he's been sick. He's been injured almost the whole tournament. And these center midfielders in a 5-3-2 for Tuchel's defensive shape, they have to be mobile enough to get outside. And that just was not working. So you had Declan Rice playing on this right side of the pitch, and this is where the crosses are coming in. And he just was not able to get out into this space. Morgan Rodgers has got to come to this right side of Argentina, or I guess left center mid for England, so he can come out, try to stop some of these crosses, because Declan Rice was not getting remotely close to any of these crosses from DePaul. Paul was crossing for free. So then here is the next problem. Rodgers switched out to the right. It's good change from Tuchel. I agree with this. You know, Declan Rice wasn't getting to it. Rodgers is more mobile than Rice at this moment. But then once this happens, Messi starts to pull out wide and starts to really destroy Tuchel's 5-3-2. And again, I don't know if Messi has studied Tuchel's 5-3-2 or he knows how his 5-3-2 works, or if he has incredible game understanding. But here's what happens. So the moment this happens, the ball switches over. He sees Rodgers with them. Now Messi goes out wide. Messi goes out wide. And I'm sure Tuchel has told Kane and Bellingham, or they have realized on the pitch, that they've got to get out and stop these crosses from DePaul. So once the ball comes out to DePaul, Bellingham starts to get out. Kane starts to get out. And once this happens, in a 5-3-2, these guys move out wide. Where is the space? It's in the middle. It's in the middle. That's where they're leaving. So as the ball circulates back, Messi comes through the middle of the field unmarked. Rodgers has no idea what he should do. And then he plays a dangerous cross into the box here. 76th minute. Ball is here. Argentina is building up on this side of the pitch. England bring everyone on this side, and then just all it takes is just an easy switch across to this right side of the field and to where Messi is. Argentina have not delivered a single cross from the left side. I don't even know if they've delivered a cross on the left side the whole tournament. The ball is played to Enzo. Enzo gets played to Messi over here. Rodgers just has to take care of Messi. And now once DePaul gets it, Messi's drifting inside. Morgan Rodgers, he's got no clue what to do. Do I stay out here with DePaul? Do I follow Messi into the middle? He has no clue. Bellingham is shifted over. This is your 5-3-2. This is your 2 right here. Bellingham is here. Kane is here. Messi is in this position right here. Morgan Rodgers has no idea what he's supposed to be doing right now. He's got no clue. Messi gets on the ball, delivers another almost perfect pass to Nico Gonzalez. So then, 81st minute. Tuchel has seen it all at this point. He has seen them in the high block, high press, trying to high press in the 4-4-2. Dismantled by Messi. Then he moves to 5-3-2. Argentina respond with DePaul and going into a 1-3-6. Tuchel realizes this wasn't working. Basically, one man has destroyed both of his defensive setups. So now we move into the 81st minute where he finally decides, okay, I need more coverage on the outside because 3 midfielders in the middle with the 2 in front with Kane and Bellingham is not working. That's when he decides to go into the 5-4-1. And then this is the biggest mistake that Tuchel makes, in my opinion. Dan Burn. Now, Dan Burn is in the team to win crosses in the air. This is the biggest mistake, and nobody is talking about it, and it has nothing to do with low blocks. Because if you followed everything we've talked about in this video, tell me in the comments below what alternative plan would you have gone to, because I actually don't know what else he could go to. He's seen every part of his plan destroyed by Messi. Now he switches to 5-4-1. This is the biggest mistake he makes. Dan Burn, where does he play on the field? In the 5, he naturally usually plays left center back of 3 because he's left-footed. This is what they're looking to do. 5-4-1. Now you have the coverage on both sides of the field. We have 2 versus 2. This is the biggest problem that happens in this game. Dan Burn putting into the field on the left center back. And why? 16 crosses from Argentina on the right side of the field. 1 cross from inside the 18. Look where the crosses go, all to the back post. This, in my opinion, is not a surprise. If you've watched Egypt game, if you've watched the Switzerland game, this is how Argentina create chances from crosses. They do not cross the ball from the left side of the field, ever. Nico Gonzalez is subbed in to win headers at the back post. He is not subbed in the cross. This, to me, is the biggest mistake that Tuchel made yesterday. Because now you have a Dan Burn playing left center back in a back 5, and he is nowhere close to these crosses because they're not crossing to the near post ever. So again, here's England's 5-4-1. Here's Dan Burn. Another issue with 5-4-1 is the personnel. You've got to have players who are willing to commit to the defensive block. And again, Kane and Bellingham, they've played every minute of every game. They are obviously destroyed in this match. My question to Tuchel would be, does he regret not subbing at least one of them to try to solidify the defense a little more? Here's the corner kick. Crazy thing about this corner kick is that Argentina runs this corner kick all the time. I don't know what happened with England, and they were just maybe too fatigued to understand it. Messi gets the ball. 1 versus 2. Anderson gets pulled in, and then Enzo gets a free shot on the goal. 90th minute, England get a transition. This is probably the worst thing that happened. Up to this point, they were kicking the ball and just clearing it. But this moment, England, I guess they're tied 1-1. Kane decides, let's try to play. Let's try to counterattack, right? Gets the ball to Bellingham. And look at all these Argentina players. Not a single England player is running forward with Bellingham. He's by himself. Meanwhile, all these Argentina players are sprinting back. 30 seconds later, this is where the goal comes from. Kane and Bellingham just are the 2 ones that ran up the whole field to try to counterattack. And now they're leaving a huge gap in the block. Bellingham's got to be inside here at the very least, and then Kane is just watching the ball as well. McAllister receives the ball. I mean, this is a huge space. Misses the shot, hits the post. Messi gets it. Spence gets injured in the process. You've got 2 players to try to close down Messi again. Incredible cross. Here's your best header for England, Dan Burn. I believe he's on this back post and he's where Stones is. I don't think they score, but Tuchel put him at the near post. So was this Tuchel's mistakes or another Messi masterclass? Tuchel's adjustments created spaces that Argentina were able to exploit, but Messi's ability to recognize and punish those moments is what ultimately made the difference. But I wanted to hear from you. What decided this game? Was Tuchel outcoached, or was this simply another Messi masterclass? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.